Hello and welcome to another episode of Do You Remembaer? This is an ongoing video series where every week I take a look at something on the internet, an article. It's Wikipedia, pretty much, exclusively. But I read a Wikipedia article and then I try to remember everything I can from that article and then share that information with you and hopefully in an educational and entertaining manner. That's the goal anyway. Let's just get right into it. It's Peter Cullen. I'm talking about Peter Cullen right here. Now, if you're like, I don't recognize the name Peter Cullen. Who's that? He's the voice of Optimus Prime. So you know him at this point. You know who Optimus Prime is. And he's the voice actor for Optimus Prime. Now, he was born in 1941 in Canada. Got his start in radio, playing a lot of French-Canadian characters. Eventually, he did move to Los Angeles to pursue voiceover work full-time. And he did land the role of Optimus Prime, which he said he thought was the role of a lifetime. And one of the reasons why he got it was because of his in his audition is that he went a different route that a lot of other people did. He went with the quiet, confident hero, based on his, according to him, quote in the article, that he took inspiration from his brother and how his brother changed when he came back from Vietnam and was much more subdued and much more of a quiet leader, hero type, and that was to him that was a big deal, and that was his inspiration for Optimus Prime. And then he also booked Ironhide, and he was just like, heck yeah, great, cool. I'm also Ironhide, awesome. Optimus Prime is probably the character he is most well known for, although he has possibly, especially from the period of once it ended before the movies, he had way more roles as Eeyore, some of which was archival audio, but yeah, he had a lot of performances of Eeyore in movies and in television, and then later, starting with the Michael Bay movies, reprised the role of Optimus Prime because this is a fun thing that was like, oh yeah, I guess at the time you wouldn't know this. He apparently didn't realize how popular he was as Optimus Prime, or how popular Optimus Prime was, because when Optimus Prime died in the movie, he was apparently caught off guard by how kids were like really upset about it, because apparently, he would get fan letters, but Optimus Prime got more fan letters than Peter Cullen, and apparently the studios didn't forward the Optimus Prime fan letters to him, because if you're a kid, your folks are going to learn like the address of like the studio. They're going to look up the studio, I guess, but they're not going to like have you write to Peter Cullen. You're going to write to Optimus Prime. So yeah, so there was a whole campaign. They brought him back for an episode in episode 3, and then brought him back to basically finish off the series. Because kids were just like, no, but Optimus Prime's going to be okay though, right? We don't like Rodimus Prime. We want Optimus Prime. What are we doing here? So anyway, a lot of other voice acting work. Again, two things I did not know until I read this article, which is very fun for me and maybe fun for you. He is the voice of Montgomery Jack in Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers. I did not know that he played Montgomery Jack. That is very funny and very fun. And also, there's a Saturday morning cartoon Saturday something or other. Damn, it's Saturday something. Anyway, it's Saturday. There is a show, and I don't remember the name. So in the comments, you can let me know what I got, that I messed this up. You can just tell me what it is. But there was a show that had a bunch of different segments based on video game things, and one of them was a Donkey Kong inspired series. And in that, Peter Cullen voiced Mario, making Peter Cullen the first person to ever voice Mario in English. So, heck yeah, Peter Cullen. Now, again, didn't get into any of the other stuff. Peter Cullen and voice acting, we did a bunch of different things. Didn't do Optimus Prime again until 2007, and then came back in. So he's been in video games. Peter Cullen gets around a little bit, jumps into some other stuff. He's in a random episode of In Living Color in 1991 for some reason. Occasionally plays himself in things. He was what did he narrate that was like, I didn't recognize it until he's narrated a few things. It may come to me, I don't remember, but he did some vocal narration in some stuff that I was just like, oh yeah. So I unfortunately cannot off the top of my head. I'm like scrolling in my mind trying to remember the thing that he did that yes, that's what it was. Toonami. He was one of the announcers for Toonami. He wasn't the robot Tom, but he was one of the Toonami voice actors who did narration for some of the shows. Like teaser trailers of some of the products. Yeah, that was Peter Cullen. That's what I couldn't remember, and I was like, oh, why can't I remember this? Because I was like, oh, of course that's Peter Cullen, but it didn't come to me. But yeah, he's been in some other stuff, done some live action stuff, done some other narrations. There's a Finnish metal album that he did some voices in because metal albums love to have deep voiced people, do some stuff in there. He's not the first, he won't be the last. But in general, that's all I can remember about Peter Cullen. And I hope you will go to the Wikipedia page, which you can find in the show link section of this. Leave a comment. Hey, what's a role that I forgot about that you're like, I can't believe you forgot that Peter Cullen was in that unreleased Warcraft game. There, that's a thing I didn't remember until just now. But let me know what the obvious thing that I should have mentioned about Mr. Peter Cullen. He's got 4 kids. That's about it that I remember now. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment. Give me a suggestion. I have not seen these in weeks. That I have not had a suggestion for another one of these. A topic or an actual just Wikipedia article you want to send to me. I have not seen one of those in weeks, and I would love to see some suggestions. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.